Yo, Scrawny with the Skinny, back at it. Fantasyland, back at it. Bottom of the board. 68% is where we finish off the America's RMR. Listen, man, I was huffing that sweet, sweet NA hopium, man. I'm talking nouns, bro. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? In the place of going for Henny and Imperial, which would have been a hell of a pick. Shout out Lucy one time. I told Lucy there was no way that Nouns would lose to Legacy. Nouns are going to take NA all the way to the major, and then North America has one of its worst RMRs of all time. Not a single Canadian at the major. Oof. So, listen, here's our reality this season. Consistent top 5 places for the first 3 seasons that I've played. Currently sitting 21st. I would feel way worse about this 21st place if I wasn't right next to my man, Maniac. Maniac and I have been duking it out for the top of the boards. Definitely in his favor, all right? He's been pretty untouchable last season. But obviously both of us have kind of lost our touch so far this season. And that's when I think back. I recall in my fantasy crystal ball how badly Lucy was down last season, and she still nearly broke into the top 5 by the end of the season. So I'm going to harness my inner Lucy, my inner fantasy queen, and try to make this season all about the comeback, all right? Which means this episode's going to be a little bit different. We're not wasting any time. I'm just going to be real with you guys. I'm cutting the fluff because I can't do the grandstanding and the over the top and now. Clearly, my read is not the best right now, so consider this as more of a documentation of my return to the very top. All right, Blast Spring Showdown, single elimination. The teams on the bottom half do not touch the teams on the top half, so you pretty much just have a divided bracket, single elim, right? Pick 2 players from the 2 teams you think are going to qualify from each half of the bracket. Let me go through these quickly. Complexity trounce OG. Heroic will defeat ninjas. This is the new Young Ninjas / Alex plus Rez combination. I don't think it'll grow together fast enough. Liquid and Saw, honestly, shout out to the Portuguese guys. I think Saw could straight up take it. Liquid are on LAN. They are boot camping in the UK, as is Complexity. Not that I think that really matters in this game, but it could versus Heroic. So Liquid on LAN against Saw. Saw is going to be practicing a lot, though, while Liquid are kind of fumbling through the RMR. Saw have been sat at home preparing for the major. So I'm going to take Saw over Liquid. And then I'm going to take Cloud9 over Rare Atom. Cloud9 versus the winner of Liquid Saw, Cloud9. And then, of course, this Complexity Heroic game I think could actually get pretty exciting, could get pretty tight. Heroic have had practice time. Complexity are on LAN. Heroic are not, as far as I'm aware. So, that's a bit of a coin toss, but I'll give it to Heroic, who I think actually have a real chance at making a solid run at the major if the pieces continue to work well together. Let's say Heroic versus Cloud9 in the semifinals. Cloud9 take it. I don't know. See, that's a 50-50 call. But all that's really important to me this event, right, all that I'm looking to do right now in the state of my season is just get 2 teams, and that's 2 players in that semifinal. I think Cloud9 have the clearer run, so I'm going to back Cloud9. We'll say they win their semis. They qualify to London. Bottom of the bracket's got Spirit, which means it's got Donk, but it's also got s1mple. Ooh! And a lot of the most picked players are currently split between those 2 teams of Falcons and Spirit. So Spirit are going to smash Elevate. And this is a game where somebody's getting a huge rating, dude. I don't think Elevate stand a chance. They are on LAN. They are boot camping in the United Kingdom. If this is the farm game of the half, I think having 2 players is really important from Team Spirit. Gamer Legion versus Big. I'd love to wish that this, Searson, JDC, Big, I wish them the best. I like having Big in the top 15, top 20, but right now Gamer Legion, just the more consistent core. Gamer Legion versus Spirit. Spirit take it. Imperial will beat Monty. Monty are totally in flux, having now just lost players. Falcons Metasport, it's got like low-key dark horse upset potential. The Swedish boys have been up to something nasty in the online realms of Counter-Strike right now, but we got to give it to the GOAT. I think that watching s1mple and s1mpius play together is going to be like watching Nertz and s1mpius play together, and that's really, really exciting. So, yeah, let's go ahead and say Falcons over Metasport, but keep your eyes close on that game. Things could get a little weird or a little closer. Falcons over Imperial. We'll have a Spirit Falcons finish. Again, 2 players from either team bodes well for you. s1mple is affordable at 215. Can't ignore that. But I'm going to go with Spirit. I think the team play is ready. I think you look at the, quality of Counter-Strike. that they played in the RMR qualifier, that's what you're getting from Spirit. They've won lands since. Excuse me again. Fantasy draft. So those 4 teams, right? We're looking at Spirit, Heroic. We're looking at Cloud9, Heroic, Spirit, and Falcons. If you're going to go for Spirit, I think Donk is just overpriced now. 260 is crazy. Again, I didn't touch him at 240. Didn't touch him at 250. Didn't touch him at 260. I'm still just not going to jump on the Donk train, even though Donk has been a big piece of a lot of succeeding formulas, and maybe that's why I'm not having a good season, because I've yet to draft Donk once, and I'm in 21st position. Food for thought. I think in this case, it's Chopper plus somebody. If you think Magix has enough to bring up the floor, maybe save a little money. If you think that Zontix won't cut it, maybe go ahead and get Shiro. But in an online world, I think that Zontix will switch places with Shiro as the second highest rated player, and I think that Zontix and Chopper is a nice little bet. s1mple at 215 is really exciting, but we have no clue what level of Counter-Strike he's actually going to bring to the table. Let's be real, that's not a gamble that I'm looking to take, seeing as this is all about no longer taking gambles and just trying to get some damn points. Madden at 203 is kind of fun. Snappy at 188, but I think Snappy's individual level isn't as good as, say, Chopper, who is 6,000 more, but statistically more consistent. In this case, I would say try to squeeze a Magisk and a Madden, or a Sun Pius and a Madden, and I think you're working with something. Or again, if you're feeling a little frisky, go ahead, touch s1mple. Nobody on Falcons is overpriced, but Falcons also didn't make the major. Falcons may not be in the best form in comparison to Spirit, who share that side of the bracket with them. Cloud9, shout out to the boy Hobbit, Perfecto, Boomich. Those are the 3 players that I would be looking at. There's a chance Electronic goes crazy, but again, with money on Spirit, you're gonna have to be a little less on Cloud9 if you head that direction. I think Nertz is a big ticket piece that you could genuinely put some stock behind. I would trust Nertz more than Nikadoz at that price range, the top of Heroic. And if you have to between Kicksan and Shush, I'd say go for Shush. But I'm rolling with Zontix, Chopper, Perfecto, Hobbit, and your boy JT. 182 for JT I think is nice. You get yourself the corn dogs. I think the roll activation here looks really good. 60%, 51%, 39%, 58% big bonus. JT on attacker 32, 37 could go well if they pick up their first game with ease. So that's it. This episode's s1mple. No ego. Check that at the door. 21st place. Don't hang on my word, but hopefully I could have at least confirmed some of the suspicions you have. I hope you guys are having a good season of fantasy. It's not just about me at Fantasyland, but it's about you guys who do, of course, talk about fantasy down in the comments. I'm just trying to give everybody a place to kind of give their ideas a little chance to breathe, maybe bounce off other fantasy aficionados, right? I'm just the talking face on the camera, but y'all are still very capable of having civil discussions downstairs. And of course, shout out Lucy one time, having a great season and also makes fantasy videos. Go watch Lucy's videos as well. Fantasy Future or Fantasy Funhouse? Something like that. You'll find it. All right, thanks guys. See you soon. The major's coming. That one really matters.